word. Shatter chains with sonic waves, carve the air like razor blades. No escape, no retreat, victory tastes so sweet. Kicker unmasked, live it loud. Break the silence, join the crowd. Rock the planet, feel the fire. Shake the world, lift it higher. Hey, yeah.
Good evening. It is Tuesday night, September 16th, and we are here in Stillwater, Oklahoma, the world headquarters for Kicker Car Audio. We are going to have a fun show for you guys tonight, but you know, last time we were on the air, we had a really interesting announcement. We had Donnie Babs in here, and Donnie announced, yes, it's going to be Slamology 2026. It's coming quick, but Ernie, why don't you go ahead and pull up my laptop over here. He's going to have kind of an introductory show, and this is going to be pretty much Slam Light, or what he calls a pop-up event. So this is going to happen in about 11 days. So if you guys are in the area of Edgewood, which is in Cleves, Ohio, we're going to have a nice little car show to start off the whole Slamology trend that's going to take place there in June 10th through the 14th, I think it is. I can't even read that from here. 13th and the 14th, so I'm actually pushing out longer. Donnie probably went, oh my God, he's trying to make the show even longer than it is. Anyway, Bobby Burkett, thank you for tuning in to be number one. Again, you just do that every time. Bryce up in Nebraska, I hope you got everything you were expecting in the mail. I know we had some controversy about that, but it all got handled. So, once again, thank you guys for tuning in. Everybody, we cannot do this without you. Hit that like button. If you got friends, wake them up, call them, let them know to get on their computers and watch the show tonight, and tell our other friends as well. Anyway, we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back, and we got some special guests that are going to be on the show with us tonight. So I think it'll be a lot of fun, and I think we're going to learn something. I know I will. Talk to you in just a couple of seconds.
For more than 50 years, Kicker has been rocking the planet on anything that moves. Kicker, the legacy continues.
Something bad, your hands on the wheel, got a sexy touch. It's enough to make me and my Chevy blush. So long, take it all off with that highway. Turn me on, I'll let you drive, babe. You can take it fast as you want to. Your little dirty looks damn good on. You start me up, Stones on the radio. Girl, I love the way you let go. Long way, short way, in the wrong way. Get out on some 4x4 play.
Hey guys, we're back. And before we get to our first guest tonight, we always got to talk about the thing we love to do on the show, and that's give stuff away. So if you guys have not already registered, if you have not done it, make sure you go to kicker.com/umweekly. And if this is your first time, make sure you guys register for this. This is where we give away prizes at the end of every show, every time we have one. Everyone's going to get one of the Kicker Unmasked t-shirts, which you can't buy. You can only get them by winning them on the show, and the Kicker koozies. You're also going to win, for the third place winners, going to win the TW1s, which are a little in-ear Bluetooth headphone. The next second place is going to get the TW2s, which is a little bit of an upgrade, silicone inserts, and the grand prize winner is going to get the BF100, that is a completely waterproof Bluetooth speaker. That's kind of a tongue twister to say, of course. You know, we always talk about dinner, and, you know, your guys think, oh my God, they went to Texas Roadhouse again or have delivery. We didn't this time. We actually went out. We went to Da Vinci's. We had Italian, and I'm telling you what, after that lasagna and that bread, if I fall asleep up here, do not be surprised, because I'm going to do everything I can to stay awake, but can't promise it's going to happen. So, moving right along, we're going to get to our first guests up here, which these guys are an awesome group of people. They're, one of our good dealers, and I happened to be up in their store earlier this year. Of course, I was there last year as well, too. And they had a really cool product that really caught my eye and said, we got to get you guys on the show. So without any further delay, because we got kind of a bunch to talk about today, and Ernie's already cringing back there. He's like, oh my God, he's on a ramble. Yes, I am. So let's go ahead and bring out our first guest. We got Zach, and I think we got Bill with him. We got both of you? I can see you guys. I can't hear you. Are you speechless?
Yeah, this is Darren, and then I have Bill here.
Okay, so you got Aaron and Bill. What, give Zach the night off, Bill?
Oh, yeah.
Or did you put him to work?
Talk a lot louder.
No, nothing off.
Yeah, for some reason we're having troubles hearing Bill there, Ernie. Yeah, well, we got Aaron. We didn't have Zach.
Darren.
Zach
Darren
has
with a
left
D.
the building. Darren, okay, see? Ernie needs to turn up that
Yeah.
microphone so I can hear you guys better. Anyway, I want to thank you guys. You guys have been a long-time kicker dealer. Just before we get into the really cool stuff, just a little history. How long have you guys been a kicker dealer, and where are you guys at?
Caldwell, Idaho. 25 years.
About 25 years.
All right, Darren, looks like
in
you can say
Caldwell, Idaho.
everything. Bill's
Yeah,
going to
that's
whisper in
fine.
your ear because you're the only
Yeah,
one who
you're
can hear.
good. You're good.
All right,
Yeah,
so-
25 years in Caldwell, Idaho.
Nice. 25-year, veteran of the kicker product line. We really appreciate your guys' support. I absolutely love coming to your store. You guys are always doing some really cool stuff and really cool cars in the bay. But what really caught my eye, which is why I want to get you guys on here, you're actually got a product that you guys have developed that you're just starting to market. So this is really kind of in its infancy, but it's so cool that I really wanted to make sure we had one on display. Ernie, why don't you go ahead and pull the camera in on this little product here in front of me. Darren, why don't you tell me what we're looking at right here?
Yeah, that's a rear door speaker for a 2020 to 2024 Pro XP door speaker for a 6.5 inch speaker. And on my table, we have the front door of that same model here with the two
I
speakers
actually have
in
a
it.
couple pieces up here in front of me. I got a bunch of pictures that we're going to bring up, and I'll let you talk about those as well. But
Yeah, perfect.
This is such a neat product because when I saw this product in your store, I thought it was factory. I thought it was an OEM piece that you guys just put our speakers in just to show off the speakers. But I was actually pretty surprised when you guys told me, no, you guys are actually making these in-house from the ground up. So tell me a
Yeah,
little
for
bit
sure.
about the process and what prompted you guys to do this.
Yeah, we just thought there was a need for some better, some of the OEMs, the way they mount their speakers in it weren't, only one-sided, not a full enclosed speaker, and you're not really getting the quality, as you guys know, the quality with a one-sided speaker mount. So we wanted to enclose them and add, plenty of airspace in there to give it the mid bass and whatnot. So we knew there was a market that we could hit, and so Bill and Zach and I got together and we're like, I have some background in some manufacturing, and we started DBZ less than a year ago, and we were live in March of this year. So
not very long. Like I say, this definitely is in its infancy. That's about the time I was there, isn't it, Bill? Just nod yes or no.
yeah.
I figured it was about that time, but yeah, so these things were really fresh. In fact, they actually smelled new back then. Just
Right.
kidding.
Yeah.
They look absolutely fantastic, and like you said, they are completely enclosed front and back. And I'm not sure if Ernie is going to be able to zoom in on this, but something I can see back here, and I'll try to turn this around just a little bit. This is very interesting on the back of the speaker, and of course we're looking at black on black. Tell me what we're looking at right here.
Yeah, that's a fitting that we use. I have one here in my hand with a speaker wire through it. The speaker wire goes through that, and the fitting tightens down on it to make it waterproof. So no water is entering at all. So that's what we like about these systems, is everything is waterproof, and we can. So a fitting goes in there. I don't know. I can't see if there's a fitting in that one. I think there is.
Yeah, there he is.
Yeah.
And I've used those
Yep.
type of connectors for years in car audio, going through firewalls when you're running 4
Yeah.
gauge or 8 gauge or 1/0, when you really have to have something weatherproof. And that is
Yep.
not a cheap fitting, and it just shows you guys have pretty much spared no expense on these enclosures.
Yeah.
And I noticed they when I pick it up and hold it, it not only is the fit and finish and the texture, I mean, it's hard to believe that these are 3D printed, and they are, correct?
Yeah, they're a carbon fiber material that we use, so it's lighter and stronger, and you know, the texture looks good. You know what I mean? It looks like a factory finished piece, and that's what we did with a lot of the designing that we did in it. We wanted to make it look like you just said, like it's part of the vehicle, like Polaris or Can-Am actually made that piece. That's what we wanted our customers to believe. We wanted it to be, you know, make it look like an OEM part inside of their cars that they could show off their sound with.
Well, I think you definitely nailed that, because when I saw it, I really thought it was an OEM part that you guys just went off, you know, to the dealership and bought them to put our speakers in it just to show them off. So I was impressed
Yeah, I
that you went
appreciate
that
that.
far just to show them off, and then to find out that
Right.
you actually made these specifically for those. But you're right. I mean, the texture on these, it's so fine. I mean, you really have to get up close to see that this is 3D printed. And then once again, for those of you guys that don't know about 3D printing, I mean, it's not a quick process. How long did it take you to actually design the first one? And do you even remember how many attempts you had before you got a somewhat workable sample?
Yeah, that's funny you say that. We did struggle at the beginning, and you know, for fit and you know, the quality that we wanted. We could have stopped way at the beginning and said, okay, this is good enough, but we wanted to dive in and try to make the highest quality as we could. So it took several months. We could have been open last year, but we weren't satisfied with the look and the finish, and we really dialed in the 3D printers and the prop, you know, the material that we use, and it's just a really nice, clean finish that we got on it. But yeah.
Yeah, and it just the fact that, you know, I've been to the store and I know how, you know, dedicated you guys to the, you know, the final product. So it does not surprise me at all that, you know, you guys were, you know, really struggling to make these things right, but the effort definitely paid off. And we've kind of alluded a couple times about the material, because these are not a conventional, you know, the very simple, you know, printed material, what, you know, the plastic fiber. What type of material are you using rather than just your typical, you know, inexpensive ABS, and why?
Yeah, we wanted to add the carbon fiber in there. It just, you know, lightens it up a tiny bit, and, you know, it stiffens it up a little bit. And, you know, the combination of the two is just a really good, you know, fit for, you know, like I say, the quality and, you know, the fit and the, you know, the appearance. All of these factored into our decision to pick the right material to use. And I think we nailed it. I think it's really good, and, you know, it's not the cheapest stuff to use, but, you know, it's really high quality.
Yeah, I definitely agree. In fact, the first time I saw these, you didn't even have your logos on there. I'm going to set the other one that I have up on the stand for Ernie to zoom in on, and this is a dual speaker mount. What is this one for?
Yeah, that one's, if you spin it around the other way, it's upside down right now, but that's for a front door in a
Set on the
Can-Am
stand
X3.
easier that way.
Okay, that's perfect. Yeah, you're good. But yep, there it is. But yeah. So anyway, that's a front. Looks like a front right door for a Can-Am X3, just like what's behind us here.
Yeah, we definitely have the match set here. I mean, even the insides of these enclosures. I know you guys can't see it online, but I mean, just the way these are designed and built. I mean, they absolutely look OEM, and they rock. They do an incredible job. I think Bill was tuning on one of the vehicles when I was in there with all the KM65s in there, and man, that thing sounded killer.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's one thing that we've gotten a lot of you know, compliments on is the quality of the speakers, you know, and the sound quality at a high volume, you know, and you know, it just, you know, that's really probably the best we've gotten, you know what I mean, with the mid bass and the highs. Nothing's distorted. You know, we're using KICKER products, and it just, you know, kicks ass.
Well, when you use the best, you get the best, right?
Right. For sure.
Yeah,
and I think, you know,
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, I just think it's a good compliment. You know what I mean? Each company, both of our company and your company, complement each other in this project, and it would, it's perfect.
Well, we've tolerated each other for 25 years so far, so I think we've got at least another 25 to go.
Right.
We don't plan on doing anything with you guys, so you're stuck with us as far as we're concerned.
Yeah, good.
So I'm going to have Ernie go ahead and pull my laptop up because I've got a bunch of pictures you guys sent me, and I kind of went through it and made them so that we can see the product, maybe even a little bit better than some of the pictures you sent earlier. But tell me what all we're looking at. In fact,
that's a Can-Am X3 model. Those are two rear ones, and we spent a lot of time designing those rear ones because we wanted to get away from the tower speaker in the back, and those ones fit real nice on the above the shoulder, in between the outside of the cage and the seat. They fit really nice. They really kind of just pop right into place, and they don't take a bunch of they just take up some perfect space in there.
Well,
and then those are the front doors. Those are the doors just like you have on your table there.
Gotcha. I thought they looked similar, but once again, being new at this, I could be wrong. I'm not the expert on power sports that I wish I was, but that's why I got good people like you around to help me with this.
That's right.
Let's go to the next picture. I think this is a little bit closer picture of one of the pods for.
Yeah, that's for a Ranger 1500, and those goes into a pocket where they have like a net pocket on the doors, and we actually take the screws out and take the net off, and those will go right into the factory holes, right into a factory door on a 1500 Ranger.
Nice.
Yeah, and that's another thing that we wanted to do. And there's a picture of it in the door there.
I was hoping that was the right picture for that sequence.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, that was one thing that we wanted to touch on is make it easily. Yeah, that's the same speaker you have in front of you there.
Installed. Great. Well, like I say, that setting them on the counter doesn't do them justice. They got to be in their natural environment.
Yep.
And now we've got a dash speaker.
Yeah, that one is actually. That's actually the rear for the Can-Am. That's how nice that fits in there. That's in the Can-Am X3. That's above the shoulder on the driver's side.
Okay, it shows you what I can tell by a picture. Don't have my glasses on, but for some reason I thought it was the dash.
Yeah.
Everybody's out there. All right, John, you idiot. Pay attention.
You're good.
I'm learning the whole off-road market. I don't get much of a chance to get out and play, so I surely need to.
Right.
And then this obviously is a different one.
Yeah, that's the front version of the Pro XP. So the one you have in studio there, that's the front one of that pair. That's just like the one sitting in front of me.
Gotcha. And then this kind of lists the year on the Can-Am Maverick X3 that you guys offer.
Yep. Yeah, and we're doing new models. Yeah, everybody can go on our website and they can look at all the models that we do currently, and we're adding them constantly.
And why don't you go ahead and give us that website, and maybe Colin can type it in for people to go look it up, because these really are impressive.
Yeah, it's DBZ Soundworx.com. Oh, yeah, there it goes. It's right there on the bottom of the screen.
That's why I keep calling around. He's so good at that kind of stuff.
Perfect.
And the funny thing about it is, I forgot to mention to everybody, we're really running on skeleton. I just got Colin and Ernie back there to heckle me, so it's just three of us tonight.
Good.
The rest of the guys are off to an event, and we'll talk about that here near the end of the show. But, they took half of our crew away from us, so we're going to make it happen. But this last picture you have up there, that's actually a 4-inch in that pod, is it not?
Yeah, and that is for the dash for the X3. Yep, there it is there. That is the dash one. So
great.
Yep.
And, of course, as I touch my computer. Guys, I'm still trying to get used to this whole Windows 11 thing and this new laptop that they got me, which I didn't think I needed, but they thought I did.
Yeah, you're good.
This looks like a rear door, if I...
Yep, that's the same one you have at your studio there.
Great. All installed. And
Yep.
Great. All right, so I got some questions. Here's, of course, the double door pod again.
Yep, that's the XP, yep.
So Ernie's yelling from behind me. We got some questions for you guys. So Colin,
Okay.
why don't you go ahead and pop up a question? We'll see if we can stump the chump, meaning me, which we already have because I can't tell the front from the back on an off-road vehicle. I'm never going to live that one down. So Scott Williams asks, looks like the KM 654s will fit, but will the new Kicker Premiums fit also into these? And you know, Scott, I was going to ask them because we talked about that when I was up there the last time, a couple months ago. Have you tried the new Premium series, the MS series?
We haven't.
We haven't loaded one yet in that. We have the
Okay.
we have the X the XL
XL?
series in this one up front.
Yeah, if that one fits, I'm pretty sure that the MS series will. And I do think by looking at these, and I should have tried it before the show, but I bet just with the addition of the light ring, it's going to give you all the depth and clearance
Yeah.
you need. And, you know, we always need more light anyway. So
Right.
that may be a great way to do that. So, all right. So the next picture we have up on the computer tells us we've got the Can-Am MAV3 X3 dash pods that we just saw installed. That's a picture of the pair of them. What years do those fit again?
That one is 17 to 25.
Great. And once again, you guys can look it up on their website and get all that information. And here we got lit up with green LEDs. I mean, these things just look great. I don't think I can put up enough pictures here to do them justice.
Yeah.
You guys really got to see these things in person. So,
And then I do also want to touch on a speaker pod that I have here in front of me. It's for the for RVs that replace the outside speaker.
so you've got an RV style speaker.
Yeah, this is like a stock speaker here. They call it a 5 1/4, but you turn it around and it's more like a 2-inch. And we replace it with this pod here. And we actually did, you know, Bill's was the guinea pig on this one, but you know, we installed it on his fifth wheel, and it sounds really good.
Bill, was that the one you were working on when I was there in the parking lot?
I think so. Yep.
So I could have seen greatness, and I missed it. So what do those fit? Because obviously I'm like really personally curious because I've got some really crappy 6-inch speakers on the side of my camper that I pretty much had to cover up because a hailstorm took the cones out. Now they leak water into the wall.
Yeah. So this one is actually a flat surface on the back, so it will fit any flat surface. So even your RVs, your enclosed trailers, you could put this on the inside of an enclosed trailer.
Toy hauler.
Yeah, toy hauler. You can pair it up with your Bluetooth speaker, the Kicker Bluetooth speaker, and throw a little lamp on it, and they sound amazing.
Well, I think we'll definitely be having to have some conversations when this is over because I keep looking at mine going, man, I got to get, I don't hardly use them because I use one of our little Bullfrog Bluetooth speakers.
Yeah.
That way it doesn't resonate to the camper when the wife's in there trying to watch TV when she should be fishing or doing something productive.
Right.
But, yeah, I definitely keep thinking about doing that. I just haven't got around to doing it because I was looking at going, all the work it's going to take for me to, you know, mold something. But you guys have already done that for everyone. Give me a rough idea what some of these are going to retail for, some of these pods.
Yeah, so these ones here are like the RV ones as a pair is $299. $250 for the pods unloaded.
Well, that's not bad at all.
Yeah.
I mean,
so I think we're, you know, in the market, I think we're, you know, right there in the middle, with, you know what I mean, right in the sweet spot, you know what I mean? And I think it's high quality, you know what I mean? I think we're you know, it's high value for what you're getting.
well, they look so nice. They look so professional. And people, you know, as I've gotten older, I've really started to rationalize what things cost. You know, I could tint the windows on my car, which would take me 4 or 5 hours, you know, for just the cost of the tint, or I can pay someone, you know, $150 to do it. I think I'd rather pay someone $150.
Right.
Just like with those, I think I'd much rather give you $250 for a pair of those than try to go back to our vac former and spend all the time to make a mold and pull it myself. So I think you guys have definitely hit on a gold mine. And I've got another picture up here, if you pull up on the Maverick, which has got another dual speaker application, which is kind of unique. 2 different pods in the same door.
Yeah, that's for the Maverick R, and so that's the new Maverick that came out last year, and that's we're trying to utilize as much space as, you know, useless space as we could, and we wanted to put 2 speakers in one door. I give the option too. You know, the customer can just buy the lowers, or they can buy the uppers, or they can buy both.
Or they can go for broke and take them all. Well, I absolutely love it. Here's another shot of them. This looks like a 6-inch and an 8-inch in the same setup. Boy, I hate this soft touch mouse on this laptop.
Yeah, you're good. Yep, you're right. That is an 8-inch in the bottom and then a 6.5 in the top.
I can actually zoom in on this if I don't breathe.
Or it's actually the other way around. The 8 inches on top and the 6.5's on the bottom.
Well, I absolutely love it. These things are so cool. And here we got the whole pile of them.
Yeah, there's a whole there. It looks like there's different models in there, or that might be. That's a full X3 actually.
Okay, those are all the pods for the X3. And
Yep,
there's
that's
one
what
other
you can.
thing in this picture we haven't even discussed yet. I'm see if I can zoom in on it and bring it into focus
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, that's his
What do we
dash
got
kit here. Yeah, that's a dash kit that goes on to the factory mounts for the Can-Am, and you can put you know, all your dash, the KMC3 or the 4 or the 5 will fit into it.
And just to give away a few other things, which I probably shouldn't, there may be future models that'll fit into that as well. So,
Oh, sweet.
you
That's
guys
good
don't
to
need
hear.
be changing that mold anytime soon. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Know what I mean?
That's perfect.
So, once again, give us the website. Where would people go to find these?
Yeah, it's DBZ Soundworx.com.
Now, are you expanding to any other retail applications? Are they going to be available to, in case we've got any other stores online that are interested in contacting you guys directly? Do you have an email that they can reach out to you? Or
Yep,
consumers
there's
if they have
applications.
questions?
Yeah, there's applications online to be a dealer, I believe. And yeah, and we have a couple. You know, I just wanted to touch base on a couple dealers that we have here locally. Obviously, Soundhound Stereo, and then Froden Off Road. They specialize in side-by-sides, and I just wanted to touch base on them. They were our first dealer here.
Fantastic. I really, really appreciate you guys coming on the show. I know you were here with us last week, Bill, doing the dealer visits, and I was so happy you guys could get these pods sent to us in time to get them on the show. And it was quite an honor to see these really in their infancy and how cool they were. And you know, I'm not going to toot my horn and bring it on market, but I definitely am glad we did, because these things look incredible. If you guys have side-by-sides and you really want something, reach out to these guys. You can't go wrong. When products are designed correctly, they're built correctly, and they're designed with the right products to integrate with them, you're always going to win. And that's why these guys have been doing, you know, Kicker products for 25 years and have such a great store up there in Idaho. And it's just been a lot of fun.
Yeah, also, if anybody out there has a model that they don't see on our website, please reach out to us. We're always looking for new models that might spark some interest in the industry, and we're always, you know, we have a list of ones that are in production, but we're always looking for new ones.
Cool. Well, what do you make for a 2011 Mustang? Just kidding.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny because I actually saw someone online that was making little tweeter pods for those. But that's the neat thing about the technology that's out there, the 3D printing and the scanning. And I really wish I had more time to get, you know, more, you know, involved with it. But I don't need to when I got people like you guys doing such cool stuff like this. I'll just, you know, reap the rewards of all your work.
All right, sounds good.
Well, Bill, sorry we couldn't hear you very much back there, but Darren did a good job telling us what was going on. And I think you probably got Zach back there working on more molds, or maybe he went out to grab you guys some dinner, because I know you guys are always hot and heavy out there. But here again, thank you for being on the show with us, and thanks for making such a neat product. And like I say, anything we can do on our end, and you know, our consumers out there, if you guys have questions, reach out to them, and you know, give them product ideas if there's things out there that you see a real need for them. Just like with us, you know, it takes your input. You know, we can't do it all on our own. We love to hear your input, what you like and what you don't like. So thanks
I appreciate
again for
you
being
having
on
us
the show,
on.
guys.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Have a good night, and I'm sure we'll talk to you soon. We'll take care. All right. Well, that was awesome. And unfortunately, we didn't hear Bill very much. I don't know if it was a microphone problem, but you know, hey, this is live. This is what happens, as Ernie always says. You never know what's going to happen, but at least Darren was able to fill in everything we needed. But, you know, I'm serious. These things absolutely look fantastic. I love them. kind of makes me want to go out and buy a side-by-side. And I got to quit touching my computer because every time I touch it, it does something crazy. It's time for guest number 2. I think we got David hanging in the wings back there. If I can see down in the seat. Yep, David Wall, are you out there? You hanging tough?
Yeah. Thanks for having us.
In fact, we can hear you. Well, I know it's been a long time since I've been out to see you guys, but kind of tell everybody who you guys are. I mean, obviously,
I saw you not that
Freeman's
long
Car
ago.
Stereo.
I saw you at Master Tech Expo at an industry colleague's retirement party. So got to catch up with you and hear a little bit about your history, which was very cool.
Yep, it's been crazy. It's been an amazing ride. The years I've been doing this, and if you guys watch the back episodes, you can find out how many. I can blurt it out again because I keep getting older all the time. But it's so fun, and it's such a neat industry. I mean, even all you guys, viewing out there, the audio industry. I mean, it's people helping people, and it's funny when you start talking about, well, they're not a Kicker dealer, they're a JL or a Rockford dealer. There shouldn't be any animosity between anyone because we're all out having fun. We've took our hobbies and turned it into a career. We're making money, so it doesn't matter where you do it, as long as you're enjoying doing it and do it well, right?
It's a small world, that's for sure.
And I know you guys have been doing this a long time. How long has Freeman's been in business? When did you get started and where?
So Freeman's Car Stereo was founded by John and Jane Freeman in 1979. So John started doing this in high school and was kind of an industry pioneer for sure. And so about 46 years we've been doing this.
That's a long time. Now, how many stores are you guys up to now?
So we have 7 retail locations. We do a pretty good bit of online business. So we've got a warehouse, and then we have a standalone repair center. So we repair, factory radios, we repair out of warranty amplifiers. Some manufacturers refer their out of warranty work to us. So got our hands in a lot of things.
Well, you just prompted, a subject for more conversation I wasn't even planning on because, I get people emailing and calling and texting all the time where to get equipment repaired that's not under warranty. So obviously, you just mentioned you guys do that. So if we got people out there viewing that want to reach out to you guys and see if it's possible to get something repaired, how would they get in contact with you guys?
Best way is to email repair@freemanscarstereo.com. And Jason is our repair center manager, and he does a lot of OEM repairs, like replacement screens and that kind of thing. But really, his personal passion is large amplifiers. So, like, giant amplifiers is his real passion.
Especially the ones that go up in a ball of flames, right?
Put the smoke back in.
That magic steam, you let that out of the amplifiers, they just don't work the same after that. And our good friend Brian Gary's got a question here. He says, I've used their repair center. They are excellent. And, if you guys know Brian,
Thanks,
he's definitely not a liar. So, Brian, in case you guys are wondering, Brian's the one that has the Mustang convertible with the 4 Solo X8s that are infinite baffle. And I know Brian just went to a sound quality competition over the weekend. I didn't see how he did, but that was up in Lawrence, Kansas, up at Scott's store. But, those Solo X's do work infinite baffle. So let's get back to good old Freeman. So you said you had 7 stores?
7 stores. And what really makes us unique is I shared some pictures of work, but really, you ever hear the Charlie Munger thing about Berkshire Hathaway? He would say the 3 L's. It's like the 3 ways a smart person can go broke. And he would say it was ladies, liquor, and leverage. And he said, forget about the first 2. It's just leverage. Well, I think that's kind of like our 3 P's for success: products, processes, and people. Forget about the first 2. It's the people. And that's really our focus at Freeman's is our customers and our employees. And we've really, you've been in business 46 years. You can't just keep going status quo. You have to kind of rethink, reimagine, and breathe new life in. And, thanks a lot to Brian Schmidt, Mobile Solutions, Master Tech Expo, because we've really re-energized our employees. I mean, we've got lots of employees that have been with us for over 20 and even over 30 years. So, to watch a technician who's been working for us 30 years, is 50 years old, get super excited about the new laser machine, the 3D printers, the things that we've invested in, and going out to the expo and, going to Mobile Solutions classes and things like that. It's really fun.
Yeah, Brian has really hit it out of the park as far as, taking this industry to the next level. I mean, I don't think you can look at an install and not see some of his influence in it somewhere. I mean, with, you know, all the classes and the tools and, like I say, Master Tech and Mobile Solutions. I mean,
Yeah, absolutely.
it's really great to be in an industry where people are that passionate about it and that willing to, you know, help everybody in the industry. I mean, I know it's an old cliche saying, but, you know, rising tide does float all boats. So, you know, I know in my job as a trainer traveling, you know, the wife, she's not very into car audio. In fact, she gets in the car and turns off the radio, which I still don't understand. But she's like, you know, so what do you do? It's like, well, I teach people how to sell and install. And she said, well, just your product? It's like, well, no, they can use that on anything. She said, well, that doesn't sound very smart. It's like, listen, if they only know about our stuff and they can't sell it or put it in, then they're not going to be in business, and neither are we. So, you know,
my wife's
like Brian out
converted.
there-
When we met, she wasn't into car audio, but now, you know, I can hear her before she pulls in the driveway. So she's converted.
I'm jealous. Yeah, she still drive around with the stock stereo in her 2014 Cadillac, and she won't let me touch it. But hey, that is something. Did you guys fix those? The factory radios in those cars?
We do. We do.
I figured you did
Do a
because
ton
mine's.
of black screens.
Yeah, I know on those Cadillacs they actually have a class action lawsuit against them because of those screens and those radios. But
Yeah.
every now and then ours does something a little funky, and you know, I think if I take it out, she probably wouldn't even notice, you know, sending it back to you guys to get it repaired, except for she wouldn't have control over the air conditioning. I think it's about the only thing. But I've got some pictures that you guys have sent me. You guys sent me a whole lot of pictures, so I apologize if I didn't pull out the right ones, but I pulled out some that I found kind of interesting that I wanted to show everybody. And obviously you do car audio, but I see boats here in this picture. What do you
So
think
that's
your percentage
that's
of
our
business is
flagship
boats?
store. That's our flagship store. That's where the office is. That's where I'm at right now. And it's in Cornelius, North Carolina, but it's Lake Norman area. So we do a ton of towboats here.
Well, fantastic. I know the marine market is really getting crazy. And you know, as long as I've been doing car audio, you know, hadn't grown up doing a lot of marine audio, and even working for Kicker, you know, for the long time, we didn't really do a lot of, you know, marine. We kind of started dabbling in a little bit, but our marine line is really getting strong, and I'm getting more and
Yeah,
more.
and we've really
I've
started
been
to
working on a
shift
lot
over.
more boats personally.
We're doing a lot more kicker in a lot of these boats too.
Well, as
That's our
always, we've got some new and
Concord,
cool
North
products
Carolina
coming out
location
for
right
that
there.
too.
Sorry.
Yep, I said, as always, we got some more cool and exciting products coming out, and you know, marine and power sports are two areas that, you know, really there's a lot of room for growth. Car audio is, you know, I won't necessarily say it's flat, but it's not booming as much as it used to. With, you know, these newer vehicles, it gets a little more difficult, but it's crazy. You know, these people, these ski boats. I mean, a buddy of mine just bought a ski boat down in Edmond. It's a Taiga Z3, I think it is. And the boat was $280,000 before he started adding anything to it. So you
Top
can
of the
have
line,
some fun with boats.
You can definitely spend $500,000 on a towboat for sure.
Yeah, exactly. So I guess this is one of your locations here, one of the pictures he sent me.
Yeah, Concord, North Carolina is where that store is.
Yeah, and this
Got
is
6 in
actually
North
tested.
Carolina and 1 in South Carolina.
We're going to have a test so you can actually name where all 7 of your stores are.
Of
All
course
right.
I can.
I
Now,
figured
that's
you
the
probably
thing.
could.
If you show any of our work, I may not be able to tell you all the details because with 7 locations, I'm not involved in every job. I started my career, you know, in the install bay, but obviously now I spend a lot of time here in this office. But I can definitely tell you all about the location.
And that's one of the things that I've always said about, you know, car audio is you start out as a hobby and start doing it, and you turn it into a career. And sometimes, unfortunately, you get so big you have to release the reins a little bit, but you seem to have done an excellent job with that. Here we got a picture of one of the showrooms, and just, you know, gorgeous stores. And there's, I think, another picture of the store here coming up here in a minute. I'm not sure what order they're in. And here's one of your industry awards. This is kind of a
So
cool
if you
awards
if you
guys
look
won.
behind me up on the shelf here, you can see 2023 Retailer of the Year, Best Online Presence, Best Customer Experience, Best Customer Retention, and then 24 we won Best Company Culture, which is probably my favorite one, and then Best Online Presence there too. But again, that's what I say. It's really been our point of focus is to, I'll say our mission statements to offer the industry's finest in customer experience, workmanship, product offerings, and organizational culture. So that's all key to that. Now that's a throwback right there. That's our Gastonia location, and I think that's about 1986. And the current location, we moved into the location next door. I think it was in 1990, and we were still in that same location. So we've been in that spot a long time. But yeah, that's a throwback.
I love some of the throwback pictures. When you see cell phones and radar detectors, you don't see a lot of people advertising that anymore.
Favorite things about the industry is looking back and seeing where we came from.
And I think we got a couple pictures from back when.
Yeah, that's our Charlotte store on South Boulevard. I want to say that's circa 1992, something like that.
Can you tell me who's sitting in front of the door?
I can't. I can tell you that I shopped at this store when I was in high school.
Nice. All right, let's keep going here. Here's another shot of the front of the side of the store. That's the store you're at right now, correct?
Yeah, that's the location. Yes, it is. That's the corporate headquarters / our flagship store in Cornelius.
And here's another throwback.
Yeah, that's an old one. That's one of the first locations in Charlotte. It was in an old gas station, but definitely a cool retro vibe to that location. I've got a picture of that here behind me. It's just one of my favorite old pictures of where we came from.
Oh, the front of the building's got some character, and it's got a pop machine of all things.
Yeah.
Some of these people out watching the show tonight probably have never seen a pop machine before.
That's our location in Hickory.
All right. Here's a beautiful shot of the inside.
We do some home audio too, so that's a location of at this location in Cornelius, showing a little bit of our home showroom.
So when you get into home, what do you do for home? Is it just
custom integration,
home theaters?
Yeah, mostly custom integration. So we do whole home audio. We do some theaters. We've gotten to where we're doing a lot of lighting and shades. So kind of across the board, but custom integration.
Yeah, everybody likes their automation until it breaks, and that's when they call you guys to come fix it and do it right, correct?
That's right.
All right. Now we're going to get back to a little bit of car audio here. This is actually, getting to be really popular, the 4.8s or 4.10s under the back seat of a truck, but this shows the craftsmanship you guys offer. I mean, I can tell by looking at this, there's a lot of work in that box.
It's kind of unique in that spot too, because we've got 7 locations, and we're a meat and potatoes car audio place. We do just normal stuff, radio 4 speakers, radio backup camera, just amp and sub. But we can turn it on again. Our guys have been going out to trainings, and we've been we've got laser machines, 3D printers, that kind of thing. So we can turn it up wherever we need to. In the past, we don't. Been building a lot of these speakers for rear doors of Jeeps and Broncos and the like. But yeah, I mean, we used to build more show vehicles and SEMA type things, and but really we just kind of focus more on like I said, meat and potatoes.
Well, that's what you got to have. I mean, it's nice to have the frosting, but you have to have the cake to put it on too. But one of the things I, personally noticed, just the style of this enclosure. It's not just a square box with a hole cut in and speaker put in it. You guys, spend some time to really design stuff to look nice and look like it's a custom build, not something just thrown together or pulled out of a box. And as you were mentioning with the printers, you sent me a couple pictures, and I think this is a couple of your 3D printers.
Yeah, that's 3 of them there, and to be honest, there's 3 more in that room on the other side. And we're doing a lot of 3D printed speaker adapters. We're doing 3D print. We did a Bronco the other day where we did a 3D printed armrest. We made door panels for an old Bronco. We do fixtures for custom install radar detectors on the 3D printers. Travis, one of our regional managers, has really gotten into Fusion 360 and is really doing going down the deep dive with that. That's some merch that we do. So John Freeman, not Junior, but he's John Freeman, who the founder's son, has a company called Johnny Fly, and he does sunglasses. And we do merch like for our employees. So like at the Christmas party, we'll give away these like pretty nice sunglasses and all the Freeman's branded you know,
Well, those are
packaging
great.
and
I
whatnot.
just, you know, it's all about being unique and different and, you know, calling attention to your brand. And this definitely caught my attention. Like, yeah, those look nice.
Yeah.
And it's kind of cool you guys do that kind of stuff. Another picture of a boat, I guess a system that's getting ready to get thrown in this boat with a bunch of KMXLs.
That's it.
And
That's it. And we've definitely, like I said, even just this past season, we've really moved a lot of business and focused on the kicker, the new kicker products. I guess the KMXLs have been out for a minute now, but the new premium stuff, we really have got a lot more to offer that hits, you know, wherever our customer needs to be. So have really focused on it now.
yeah, that premium marine product just sounds incredible. I absolutely love it. In fact, I even use those tweeters in my car. I like them so well. But this is another picture, and I like the fact you can see the inside of the enclosure. I mean, you guys are doing it right. Everything's screwed together, glued together. It's all clean and neat. I know it's going to get, you know, the wires bolted to the inside, you know, rather than the cheesy plastic.
Yeah, that one actually wasn't complete. That one shipped today, but it wasn't complete whenever we were putting this stuff together. But obviously one of Brian Schmidt's templates designs there. But yeah, definitely, it was a Mercedes. I can't remember the model, but it was a AMG Mercedes that went into.
And obviously, you know, the subtle two-tone is nice. I mean, just all the little details. And once again, back to the showroom and, you know, the outside of the store. Tractor for a semi setting outside.
Yeah, we do a lot. We've got quite the variety. There's our big laser machine. We've got several laser machines, but that one I think has got a 35-inch by 55-inch bed, so we could pretty much, it's 120 watts, so we could do just about anything you can think of on there.
And that's great. And in this day and age, you pretty much have to have the printers and the lasers, and, you know, and here again, you know, going to Master Tech, you know, learning about Fusion 360. I mean, if you guys want to get into this stuff, it's essential.
Shout out to in that picture there, you've got Travis Grimm and Chin Fan, our regional managers, who also are, you know, came from the install bay, and they can install with the best of them. Both of them, you know, Travis has really gotten in, as I mentioned earlier, into the 3D design, and he's, you know, a fabricator that, like I said, can go, and he's over 4 of our locations and definitely can hold his own. And we've got a couple other technicians, Willie and Chad there, who I don't know if that's one of ours. I think that may have slipped into our Dropbox from another one. I don't know if that's one of our installs or not. We're trying to place
it still looks nice, whether it is or isn't. So here's another.
It may have been
tailgate.
It may have been actually from a kicker vehicle that was in here and got stuck over in the wrong box. There's another one of our enclosures that for those rear doors we were talking about earlier, and, you know, always try to spice it up a little bit. Sound rooms,
And
we got
this
some
is
old school
gorgeous.
sound rooms, amps in the floor. You know, that's been that way for a long time, but we've refreshed it all. Everything's brand new, but we kind of kept the old school look to it because we like to, again, not forget about our roots and where we came from.
I definitely love it, and it looks fantastic. Of course, another one of the locations. So you guys are scattered all over the place. Website, phone numbers. How do people get a hold of you if they're in your area?
Yeah, so you can go to freemanscarstereo.com and you can find, you know, a list of all of our locations and phone numbers on there. That's the best way to go. Of course, we're on socials too, but freemanscarstereo.com is going to be the place to go to direct you wherever you need to.
Well, yeah. Ernie's yelling at me. I've been kind of watching the bottom of the stream here too. We got one more guest we got to bring on. And of course, you know, if you guys know me, unfortunately, I keep talking. I lose all track of time. But I haven't seen Jimmy. He's supposed to be up here on the show, and he's supposed to be. I don't see his signature.
Is Jimmy
down there,
knows code? Jimmy's a friend, so
he's
he knows
supposed to be here.
Is this where we're supposed to be? Was this the
I need a shirt.
Oh, hey, look at
So,
you
you know,
guys.
this would explain why you guys are not on the bottom of the screen.
Well, you know, we were having a camera issue, so we just thought we'd come use your cameras instead.
This is the one I was
Fine.
looking for.
Well, obviously, we got Jimmy and Mike here
Yeah.
from
Hey,
Pro
David.
Audio Center.
Hey, look at this guy.
Mike, Jimmy.
What's up, David? We keep
How
seeing
are
you
you?
everywhere, man. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Actually, we kind of listened to you talking about all these trainings and all. Man, it's definitely cool, man. And we get to go, and me and you actually got to do a class together here one time not too long back, though. It was pretty fun.
That's right. That's
Yep.
how we got to know each other better for sure.
Uh-huh.
I was in a class with
Probably with Travis.
You're with Travis.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think.
yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mike, you have no class.
Never.
That's why we go. We try to get as much as we can. So it's awesome what you guys are doing too, man. Yeah, Dave and I, we've become pretty good friends over the years and stuff too, and share some common history in the back. And it's awesome to watch what you guys do, man. Pretty
Small
really
world.
awesome.
You guys are class act. We definitely have a lot of mutual respect.
Yeah.
Oh,
This
thank
is
you.
one of the
That's
reasons why we like doing this kind of stuff is, getting our dealers together and, because bounce ideas off each other and, what works in one market, may or may not work in another one. And it's nice to, get some fresh ideas. So
Yeah,
and we
for
love doing this kind of stuff, just like, fresh ideas from our viewers and our consumers. We're always out to take input, and it's quite an honor to have, dealers like you guys supporting us and, making sure I don't have to go get a real job because, me, I don't know how to work anymore. Anyway.
Nice.
Well, David, I want to thank you for tuning in. I know you probably got a lot of things to do, man, especially with 7 stores and people scattered
He's
all over
busy.
the place. And thank you for taking time out of your busy day to join
No,
us
thank
and
you
be
guys
on
for
the
having us.
show. And as always, if you need anything, any issues, reach out to us. You know where to find us. And I'll look forward to hopefully getting back into your market again, early next year. And we'll kick off the 2026 season with a bang like we always do.
Sounds good. Hope to see you soon.
All right, Brian Gary says, "Where's Vicky? She's hotter looking than Ham." Yeah, I agree with that too. Anyway,
So do we.
David, thanks for being on tonight, and I hope you have a great evening and
Thanks
keep
a
doing
lot.
what you're doing because it's obviously working.
Yeah. Nice.
Cool. Well,
Yeah, that's
who
it.
have I got in the shop with me now? For those of you guys that don't know Jimmy and Mike, let them introduce themselves and tell you a little bit about where they are and what they do and why they're here. Well, they're probably here because Mike drove you guys here, didn't he?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, it was mostly between the ditches. It's fine. It's a long story.
Well, and we were too lazy to put up the blue screen at the shop, so
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
It's
easier.
much easier to drive from.
Yeah. So Jimmy Ham. Well, we have our shop, Pro Audio Center, Central Mississippi. We've been there 36 years as a kicker dealer ourselves, and it's a family business for us too. And matter of fact, we still have 3 family generations there. My dad's actually still coming in, helping us out. Yep.
Really?
Yep. Got my son and daughter there full time. Got all kinds of added family over the years, and when you're friends, we got good friends like we have a lot of extended family there
Yeah,
too.
and
So.
you have a lot of fun too,
Oh,
don't
yeah.
we?
You do, man, because it's a lot of long hours sometimes, and and a lot of things. So it's good to have people that you love working with too. So.
Way back to the old, actual competition days.
Oh, yeah.
God,
Right.
when everyone was so serious about car audio, and now we're still kind of serious, but we still at least like to have some fun.
Yep.
So,
We all got too old to be serious.
I don't buy that at all. 'Cause I think I'm older than both of you, and you know me, I don't have a serious bone on my body. It's just never any fun.
It's been cool though. The really cool part is, yes, we've been around. We've got the history, and we could sit around and sound like the old folks and talk about all the history. But it's cool to be involved in the cutting edge stuff now too. We're sitting here talking about the Fusion 360, the laser printers, laser cutters, 3D printers, CNCs, metal CNC, and it's fascinating. It's fascinating to me. I'm kind of like David too, where you get busy, where you have to get the business done, and you do have
actually
to
have
turn
to
over
work.
the reins and do that.
Yeah.
But I'm still a hands-on guy myself. I love to do it. So I like watching it and like doing it whenever I get a chance. So
Yeah, you definitely got a bunch of the right guys to watch. And if
Right.
you guys have seen some of the vehicles they've built that we've featured on here,
Sure.
You going to Slam this year, this coming event?
probably not the mini event. We'll definitely be at the
Right,
big
in-
event again
in
when
June
it comes
event.
out. So yeah, and even at that one, we were taking our Queen of Hearts truck out there, which we just did a lot of stuff on it, getting ready for SEMA again. So big shows out there. The Hernandez's in Hattiesburg, south of us there, they actually have another truck. It's getting out on social a lot. They're calling it the Game Over truck, and yeah, I don't know. It's game over. The truck is beautiful now. We're just figuring out what we're going to do, but it's another step up for us that we're actually doing full 3D rendering on the whole truck, to figure out what fits. So
Wow.
Right. Yeah, we do the free scan combos now. Blue laser line scanning. You get in there, you could scan something in just freaking black dark now.
Right.
Pull it into Fusion and start modeling to it. No, it
So
really is
me and my
amazing what
crayons
you
are
can do.
out. Huh?
There's a place for it, but
Yeah, preschool probably. They probably don't even use crayons in preschool anymore. But one of the reasons why we're excited to have you guys on the show, and we've had, all different ends of the business out there. Obviously when car audio first started, it was just a bunch of hobbyists, and you had to go to a store and buy
Yeah.
stuff. But the whole industry has changed so much. And you know, if anybody's got a handle on, you know, what's going on in the industry, you know, how things are being moved from manufacturer to consumer and, you know, through stores, I think you guys have got it. But you guys have got some really, really good points to bring up, you know, because there's obviously we're talking internet sales, but there's good and bad on both sides.
Well,
and if anybody's got any insight, you know, any, you know, words of wisdom about, you know, the pros and cons of buying online, you know, versus going into the store, you know, versus trying to do it yourself, obviously. Where do you guys stand on that? 'Cause I think it's kind of interesting.
When you go back, and I mean, part of this is the history too. So we've been around long enough that, you know, there wasn't an internet, you know, before Al Gore invented the internet. So, but we actually, it's fine, John.
I have to work with
It's fine.
Yeah, you had to ride with him. You're stuck in the car.
Right. We've been around long enough that you didn't have that. So maybe you had the guy across town or down the street or something like that, and you just, you know, and that was kind of your market, those people, and you really didn't even reach out a whole lot back then. So we went through that. And so then you had internet sales, and that was completely out of control when that started.
Yeah,
you know?
even, you know, down into we had our tough
and
years
I mean,
with internet.
And honestly, that killed some dealers. You know, I mean, not by itself didn't, but you know,
it actually killed entire companies.
Right.
You know, if they didn't
If you
manage
didn't learn,
it and control
if you didn't learn how to handle it,
took control of them and ran them right into the ground. You kind of like the tail wagging the dog.
That's an ever-evolving thing now too. And I mean, I know Kicker spends a ton of time and money, you know, trying to keep that right to make it a level playing field for the dealers, because you know, at that particular point in time, going back, you had the brick and mortar stores, and then you had online. And it was completely separate. And like honestly, we all fought against each other. You know, it's just they don't know how to do business like we do.
Cats and dogs.
Right? Yeah, and it was a mess every time it came around. And then of course that evolved into online marketplaces, which is like a whole nother beast, so to speak. You know, and the availability is there. We all shop online. I mean, that's the way it is. You like to sit on your couch at home and shop for stuff. We all do it. And so what we've had to evolve into in our own business, we have not stepped away from the brick and mortar at all. I mean, actually, we've advanced it quite a bit, doing everything we can, customer service, just like other people have talked about. But we have found that we have to talk to the customer the way the customer wants to talk to you. And it's the new generations too. You know, they're not necessarily going to walk in your store. Right. They're going to talk to somebody, but they want to text you, they want to message you. You know, just not even emails now. Emails old school kind of, you know.
Really? When did that happen?
I don't know. Last week, man. You missed the memo.
I missed it. It was probably an email, and I missed it.
It probably was, yeah. And so, you know, you have to talk to them, and even you have to kind of talk when the customer wants to talk. So we actually have dedicated people that, you know, in a lot of cases, you're going to get a reply almost in the middle of the night sometime, but pretty quick. We try to keep our responses, you know, pretty quick with everybody. And you have to sell customers where the customer wants to buy. A lot of customers do. They want to walk in your store. They want to see the displays. They want to hear it live. They want to know they're talking to a knowledgeable person. And other people, you know, they like to do their research online, you know, and hopefully they find a good source to get that information, not always necessarily the first one you go to.
The internet experts.
Right, yeah, because, you know, and there are some good people online. And actually, we do some good business online with some. I'll throw Randy Ramirez up in Seattle, Washington. He's big, you know, in the Kicker group right now, and he's probably one of our better customers for sure. You know, we love working with him and stuff. So, but we try to talk to them, so we're going to sell them where they want to be sold and how they want to be sold and try to answer their questions. And the biggest thing that it's a little frustrating for us coming from brick and mortar and all face-to-face and talking to people is sometimes when it's online, you don't get to answer the simplest questions for people sometimes. Like you're seeing what they're ordering, you're knowing they're trying to put this together, you're knowing it's not going to work, and you really want to help them, but man, they've already purchased it and ordered it, and you got to get it shipped. You got to get it going, you know, depending on the channels that you're selling on. And I'm like, man, I really wish we could just talk about this a minute. You know, one minute would save us all a lot of headaches. So you know, learn your store. You know, every brick and mortar's not the perfect store. Every online's not the perfect store, but there's some really good. Even the people, just from what you've had on the night, you get a good sample of some people that are really trying to make a difference in this industry. You know, and really putting some effort into it. And I tell you, when you message us, you're talking to some people that have really put some time into this industry. and ask whatever question there, the whole thing. The only bad question is the one you didn't ask.
And I know both you guys are constantly answering questions.
Yeah, I mean,
and
literally in a lot of
working the
cases,
business.
and I'm sure it's probably the same with even David Wallace sometimes too. Sometimes when you might even be on Amazon asking Pro Audio Center, and I'm the guy answering you. It's me. So hopefully I could probably answer most of those questions.
Yeah, well, we do that from experience.
Right, exactly. And I mean, and we still
When we
love
tell
that-
you
the
something,
customer
trust us,
interaction.
guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, so we don't put information out there blindly. We want you to get the right product. We want you to get exactly what you thought you were going to get the performance, at the right price and all that. And we spend a lot of effort too, trying to make sure we're at the right price. Some people, and this is kind of back in the old day, everybody thought it was all about cheaper, 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 cheaper. Well, if cheaper is your only game, you don't need to be in the business. You
Right.
know? I mean, that's
But it's that good old race to zero.
right. Race to zero. And I mean, if that's all you value yourself, well, maybe you're not in the right business.
Yeah, I've said this, being in the retail industry myself, if you can only sell by price, well, you're not selling, you're clerking.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And the problem with doing that, and a lot of people don't understand that when you go to a store or you get online with somebody rep,
Yeah.
and they start asking you questions, they're asking questions for a reason. We call that qualifying, is
Yeah.
for sales. We're trying to qualify for what exactly you need. Our job as a manufacturer and their job as a retailer is we're problem solvers.
Right.
When it really boils down to it, why do you contact Pro Audio Center when you have a problem? What's your problem? I don't have enough bass. Or, I need this set of speakers for the front. My problem is my sound isn't good. I got a rattle that I don't know how to fix. So that's why when these guys ask questions or, a salesperson asks questions, they're not being nosy. They just want to get you into the right product, and it's
Right.
not necessarily to force you to spend more money. But I would much rather spend a little bit more than what I thought I needed to spend to get what I need than waste what I put up front. And that happens so often. And I know, you talked about it a little bit before too, but I'll stop people from buying something more expensive and step them down.
Right.
Kid wants, hey, I want a CXA 1801. Great, no problem, he agrees. But I don't have enough, money for the power kit. So let's put an 8-gauge power kit on it. I'd much rather see you step down a model
Right,
amplifier
exactly. Spend the money where
and
you
get
need
the
to.
proper power kit, because then what you have is going to work versus
Right.
spending all your money on one thing and not being able to back it up. And that's what you guys do so well.
Yep.
You cover every aspect of the product. But since we're talking about it, tell them how they reach out to you guys.
Yeah, well, proaudiocenter.com, that's kind of primary. Of course, any emails off of that. Text messaging, 601-939-2853. That's our main phone number, but it's also our text message number. It's interesting. People like to text us more than call us even these days, just in general.
That would not
So,
be me.
yeah, I know.
I'd rather talk to someone.
It's
My
okay.
fingers don't text very well.
Yeah,
Especially
yeah.
if they don't have my glasses on. People laugh about
When you read some of the messages we get in, I think a lot of people have that same problem. They're just hitting all the buttons at once. So.
and hope you can figure it out.
Yeah. And of course, our social media, we put a lot of stuff out there. We didn't load you up with a ton of it tonight. I know that we've got some folders on there and all, but Pro Audio Center on Facebook and Instagram, there's tons of different things out there. And we're on Amazon, eBay, and all too. So it's the same company. At this particular point, we're in one location. We've got about 16,000 square feet now, warehouse, install facilities, and that's what we're doing. But
Too cool. And of course, I know we looked this up a minute ago. I'm going to let you keep talking while I
Yeah.
try to find this on the computer over here.
it's the new computer you're having problems with.
Yeah, well, it is. Me and touchpads don't get along because I tend to hover over the
Yeah.
touchpads and then it thinks I'm going to do something
Just
and
gotta be
it does
gentle
it
with it,
automatically. So I got to go back and remember how we found your files that we were looking at.
Something David touched on that was really good. He was talking about the longevity of his employees that he had, and we've
Right.
got a couple at our shop that have been there, some off and on, but
Yeah.
they've been there for several years.
Yep, quite a bit.
right.
Love to have that tenure and stuff. So
Right.
we've got several that's been there 25 plus years, ourselves too. So
Well, and tell the guys what all you guys do. I mean, because
we do.
You're not
we do it
just
all.
audio.
We do mobile electronics. We don't do home. We dabbled at it, decided we didn't want to do that, so we did stick with mobile electronics. But we do little bit. Oh, I see you got some of it there.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure it out.
But the interesting thing, our marine market on boats is limited. We've done yachts. We do a little bit of everything. We do have a reservoir in the area, but we're not in a huge marine market. We sell a lot of marine product, but we sell it for side-by-sides. So, just with these, it's a huge thing.
It's kind of a crossover product.
That's really
Yeah,
cool.
Probably percentage-wise, 60-70% of our marine product ends up in a side-by-side because these people are doing it aggressive. There's KMTC 11s on side-by-sides everywhere in our market. So.
And we love it.
Yeah,
Right.
And
they
so
are
do
hammering.
they.
And this is some really good quality, by the way. I got to see it and hold it myself right here, and hats off to these guys. They did a good job with that.
And the other thing, we didn't even get a chance to talk about the fact that those are 2 pieces.
Yeah.
And you can almost see no seam. In fact, they're bolted
Right.
together.
Uh-huh.
I'm still trying to figure out how they get to the backside of those bolts that are in there. 'Cause
Before it was put together,
well,
sure.
I'm wondering if they 3D print the fasteners into it as they're.
It's
See, I don't know.
We could guess, since they're not back
Yeah.
to tell us we're wrong right now, we could guess that there's a
I'm
little
going to call
pocket
Bill
in there.
later. I'm going to ask him, find out exactly why.
They know we're geeking out over it a little bit, too,
Absolutely.
so good job, guys.
Very
But
good.
the funny thing, you talk about, different areas doing different things.
Yeah.
I just brought up something in my mind, to show you
Yeah.
how out of the retail blend my mind has gotten. Working for manufacturers since
Right.
'92.
Sure.
Hawaii.
Yeah.
So I've been to Hawaii a couple times with work.
Right.
And how much marine do you think they do in Hawaii?
I would think a lot, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's an island.
Yeah.
Several islands.
So marine and side by side
Yeah.
business in Hawaii. This is fascinating to me because
Okay.
I'm like, huh?
Yeah.
Almost none.
Really?
They told me, I asked them how much marine and power sports she is, and they're almost like, what are you talking about?
Wow.
And I'm like, I don't understand. They said, well, our marine market is primarily fishing boats.
Huh.
They don't do a lot of pleasure boat. We don't have any lakes in Hawaii,
Wow.
so there's no water skiing,
Huh.
no wakeboards.
Right.
The land is so government controlled, so that
Sure.
side by sides are not permitted. Tearing up the land. It's
Well,
like,
I was going to say, I
never
don't
thought
remember.
about that.
I don't remember seeing side by sides, but yeah, I hadn't really thought about it from Marine, but that's interesting.
I mean, the
So-
few side by sides they do are people that have their own private farms,
Right.
and they're utility vehicles. They're not putting audio on those.
Right.
So it's really interesting how you absolutely think you know everything about the industry you're in, and then someone throws a curveball at you, like I never saw that coming.
That's why it's good to go meet the locals. So
Yeah,
go ask
that's
the
why we
questions and
continuously,
stuff, so,
me and the rest of the trainers. And,
Qualifying your customer.
yeah, and that's exactly. I just qualified my dealer. It's like, yep, we're not going to talk marine at all.
Yep.
It isn't going to do you any
we
good to
talk
listen
it.
to me talk
Nobody's
about
buying
it.
it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like everything else. It's knowing your market, knowing your consumers, knowing the questions to ask, and something else that we were talking about earlier is tell somebody the process. If they want to buy a product, whether it's in the store or online, and they tell how you've handled that process in both aspects.
Well, what we've tried to do is integrate it a lot, and I think we've done a decent job of it now, and I think you're going to see some exciting things going forward of how we do it. You're integrating the process of online shopping and in-store. Now, obviously, a lot of people are further away. We do have people that drive several states to still come get an install, get product or whatever. But in our local market, we have a strong internet presence that matches our in-store. You can shop us online, walk in. I mean, it happens all the time. People they've got it pulled up on their phone. We have QR codes around a lot of our product and stuff too. So if somebody's in the store and they want to see exactly what, and they're not talking with someone, you're free to browse. You've got this physical product that you can touch, see, and feel. But here's your QR code to take you to the direct current links on everything you've got too. So it's live information that gets. We have teams of people, of course, updating the listings constantly. And like a lot of the bigger people, everything is synced across all the sales channels, instantly. So, and we're doing it right on the sales side of it. If it says it's in stock, it's in stock. That didn't mean we're going to order it for you and ship it to you eventually, or drop ship it from something.
Take
If
your
it
money
says
and
it's
hold
on
on to it.
if it says it's in stock, that means it's going out. If you're ordering it before 3, it's going out the same day or next day. Otherwise, and boom, we get it out, take care of customers. So.
Yeah, and like you were talking about before, you know, if someone does buy a product from you and they have a question after they get it,
No.
it's not send an email and wait a week, you know,
No,
for someone to
you
respond.
you pick your sales channel. You pick which way is most comfortable for you, and we're ready to answer it right there. And sometimes you're going to get an absolute instant answer, but it won't be long either way. So, and I mean, we're definitely all about communication. And I know in our case, like any business trying to be successful, you want to be customer oriented and really keep up with that. So we're paying attention, we're training our staff, and you're talking to some pretty highly qualified people most of the time when you're talking. So ask away. Yeah.
You know, and I think me personally, one of the biggest questions I always have, because, you know, we all deal with the big monster, and we all know who that is. You know, warranty. You know, I thought about this the other day. You know, you buy something, they've got the 30-day return.
Right.
But if something's a few months old and something goes wrong with it, there's things like, I don't know what I'm going to do, you know, because I don't know how to reach out. But with you guys, it's just as simple as, you know,
yeah, you can
sending
reach
an
out. I
email
mean,
or-
we'll try to handle as much as we can. When there's some shipping involved, obviously we have the same 30-day exchange policy. You know, we take care of that free, and that means we're paying free shipping back. So if you have a legitimate problem within 30 days, we're going to take care of that for sure too. And KICKER has a fantastic warranty department too. We take care of as much of everything we can, and man, when it's time to hand off and get a second opinion or do something, we love sending on you guys because, man, you've got a jam up warranty department for sure.
I know those guys back there. In fact,
exactly.
My boy works in the warranty department, so I got to talk good about the warranty department.
Well,
there's a reason why he's been back there 8 years, and you know, Danny's awesome. You ask Lance, you know, which is the head of the warranty. Danny just does his job and moves on. And I think the reason I'm bringing this up is, you know, we get openings all the time. We always try to promote within.
Sure.
And said, Danny, why don't you apply? He's like, I love what I do. I love the people I work with. I mean, I'm happy where I'm at. So you don't hear a lot of people in warranty say things like that because they're always dealing with, you know, unhappy people because their stuff's been sent off. They're unhappy because it's broken. But
right.
You know.
And I mean, we're there trying to help customers be happy too. We're probably going to ask a couple questions. You know, we've got certain things that we're looking for. And as soon as we can identify the best way to help you, we're going to give you everything you need to go forward with. So you don't have to figure out what to do next. We're going to say, here's your next best option. Here's what we can do. Here's how we do it, you know.
Too cool. I think Colin had a question up there just a second ago that popped up that we got talking and didn't get a chance to get to it. See if we can pop that back up. Probably had a couple. I mean, he's bounced. That was the one I thought I saw. Question for the KICKER, for the crew tonight at kicker.com. How do you go about mounting, changing out different speakers in the pods of the doors? Are speed clips or threaded inserts used to save some holes? Well, you guys are installers as well. How would you guys answer that? I'm going to burn
I would do
you.
it a certain way, and I mean, I don't know if he's talking about some of these and exactly what they've got. I know they're selling, I can feel right here, they put some meat behind this too. So if he's talking about something like this, it's going to get pretty aggressive with just a coarse thread screw right there. But if you're taking it in and out a lot, you're probably going to have to add an insert to it or something like that, which there's tons of options available for that now too.
Yeah, I know that's one of the things we do on our loaded enclosures is we do threaded inserts. You're not screwing into wood.
Right.
You know, it just really depends on the application. I know some materials you have to bolt through. I mean, sometimes fiberglass, if you don't have the right diameter drill bit, you know, you're either going to drill it too big or too small. I think the last thing any of us wants to do is snap off the head off of a stainless screw, put the speaker in a boat, because
I won't do that again.
Yeah, those get real ugly, and you know, sometimes the speed clips just aren't enough. So it really depends on the application. And I've actually seen applications where people have used speed clips, you know, which are little flat tabs with the threads on the back in boats that were not stainless steel, and it actually rusts and bleeds down through the front.
Right.
Yeah, so you got to use the right materials and the right application. So there is no one magic bullet on that question.
No.
But good question, that's for sure. Colin, we got anything else popping up there that we need to hit for these guys? I know we're running a little long, but you know, Ernie's back there probably just grinding his teeth. It's like, yeah, he's talking way too much. But I got such good guests tonight. These guys are so much fun. We got so much to talk about. We can't always limit it to 10 or 15 minutes. KICKER Travis, our good friend KICKER out there, says, can I get your guys' autograph? unfortunately probably have mine somewhere. I will make sure at SEMA you get these guys autographed this year, because Travis will be at SEMA as well. He's building a vehicle, neat little truck that's going to be at SEMA, and Travis is also the one that owns the Chevy truck that's in the museum now that we did back in '99.
I think we saw some pictures of his other project, didn't he?
We've seen
what he's working on.
So.
Yep, it's going to be cool.
Yeah,
so
that's going to be awesome.
yes, Travis, I will make sure I will get you their autographs. You don't need mine, because you probably got me on speed dial anyway. All right. Let's see what we got up here. Pro and staff. I couldn't read that before he shut it off. Before Collins jumping the gun, he says, "Support your dealer network. They work hard to keep Kicker on the shelf." Yes, they do.
Right.
Absolutely.
And actually, they don't work hard about keeping it on. They work hard about moving it off the shelves and putting more back on.
No.
So we really are blessed, with a great dealer network and a great
it's cool that
base.
you get out there and get to see them a lot and stuff too. And like I say, 100%, man. You got a guy down the road that you know them and you're ready to do some business with, and they know what you're talking. Man, do some business with those guys. They're working hard,
Yeah, and internet's not always cheaper.
No, and some
That's
customers
not always better.
Right, and it gets more expensive. When you don't do it the right way, you end up spending a whole lot more money too. So there's no one size fits all, whether it's online or in store too. But definitely don't neglect any of the in-store stuff.
Yeah, and especially here again we start talking about warranties. If you don't have a good reputable company like these guys you're working, something goes wrong with your product,
and
you got to
regardless,
send it back to them, and you're at their mercy what they do. They have to send it back to the manufacturer if that's the way they do it. Then the manufacturer send it back to them. They say, so you're in a
big
great snowball cycle.
It's more difficult for everybody. It's more difficult for the dealer, not just the customer too. So yes, warranty service is a lot easier in person with your local dealer for sure.
So I guess the main thing to take away from this is, internet's not always bad, but know how to use it properly and with the right people. And you guys are definitely the right people.
That's a tool.
Your online business is amazing, and that just proves how well you guys do it, because you keep, improving every year, and we keep asking you back here. So
yeah, I know, it's weird. You had me locked out there for a little while, though, so I don't know.
Maybe our last
it's all check didn't clear.
Got to play, but guys, I really appreciate you being on the show tonight, and obviously, being such a fantastic dealer, and when did the whole? I keep thinking about this. When did the competition scene start for your family? When was car audio implemented?
Pro audio.
Right, it was before the store. So this is a hobby gone bad for me.
Yeah, well, all of us.
Right, but no, for me, literally, I'm the guy that started putting in stereos at 14 myself, doing installs, and started going and winning some shows, and actually caught the attention of some industry people. Back to tech marketing, and that was my first professional job, was to go be a rep. So I've been a rep of electrical engineering. Actually, of course, been with Kicker forever doing that, but I was building amps with US Amps back in the day and all those guys. Yeah.
We're talking about US Amps today.
I know.
Isn't that amazing how that stuff keeps coming around?
I know. It's a whole new group of people doing some stuff, but yeah, we've had some fun over the years.
So
man,
another rabbit trail real quickly. We had a gentleman come through and do a tour yesterday that is absolutely a Kicker fan, had been in the industry a long time. He brought me something I have never seen before. So he brought me a K40 amplifier.
We saw that earlier today. We saw it. And all we could do is let's take it apart.
Which was interesting because K40 was a radar detector company.
For sure. Up until recently.
CB radio parts.
Yep, and they did CB radios, and I can't remember the sequence, but Audio Mobile was a line of electronic, and I put those amplifiers in back in the 80s.
Right.
And I can't remember if K40 bought Audio Mobile or Audio Mobile bought K40, but they kind of merged, because the guy, Dave Stephanos, I used to deal with at Audio Mobile, I know when I called him, he actually answered the phone, K40, same phone number. But I'd never seen a K40 amplifier before.
That was a unique piece to me.
So thank you, Richard, for bringing that amplifier, and thank you for spending yesterday morning with me on the tour. But just such cool stuff, and he's actually the one that sent me the pictures of the US Amps. Amplifier. And I remember those. That was another good product, and Crunch, and Ryan back in the day. But guys, we've had a great show, and I don't keep rumbling on too much, but thanks to Jimmy and Mike for coming down and being such wonderful dealers, and willing to come on the show and talk about some of the stuff that
Yeah, we love coming up here anyway. We got to see a little bit of the new stuff coming out, and man, can't talk about
Yeah,
it.
you
man.
can. I don't want to have to break your legs on camera.
Exactly. No, definitely some good stuff coming up.
Yeah,
too.
we're always working on cool stuff. That's why
Yep.
people are like, you're going to do this, you're going to do this. And like we can say, you never know, because we may be working on it, we may not be, but we can't tell you. But
you definitely have an excellent engineering team, marketing, sales. I mean, that's the nice thing about Kicker is you've got the right people in the right jobs all around the country, and everybody's working together
36
like that.
people in the engineering department. I mean, they're
But I mean,
constantly
real
working on new stuff.
engineers actually doing engineering cool stuff, and
That
it's
love what
neat.
they do.
Yeah, I'm really good
So
at
cool.
it. So.
Actually, we're going to do this. Ernie, why don't you pull up my laptop real quick since I finally got this file open, Jimmy
hey,
sent
look at
me.
there.
So we're going to actually play this
Yeah.
for you. Tell us what we got going on.
It's just
here.
something simple. This is actually, it's a little bit of a preview of a project we've got coming up yet, and we've got some ideas about where we're going to go with it. So we're not redesigning the wheel completely, but it is, of course, a downfire enclosure. But what we've done, and there's another little picture that goes with it, we're fixing this so that we can go like one step above the normal prefab. So it's, make sure we get good quality on it, but then didn't show on that one, did it?
I don't know how we lost I don't know what we got going on there.
That's interesting.
So yeah, the computer feed that's a good time for it to die so they don't actually see a product that isn't ready
that's
yet.
right. It's right. It's pre-release, but it's custom end caps. You'll be able to order some things, different designs and colors. So
Personalizing.
yeah, personalizing it a little bit, and of course we're building some of our own little techniques into it to kind of make it look really trick without spending stupid hours trying to do it, but let you get something to kind of personalize your own vehicle and give it a custom touch on it too. So yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
All right. Well, that being said, thank you guys. If you want to hang out, that's great. Or if you guys want to go have an ice cold beverage like water out of the cooler or whatever.
Yep. We'll step on off. Let you wrap this one
We'll
up.
finish this up, and because I know these guys are anxiously waiting. To
Oh, they got to figure out who won too.
Yeah,
so.
that's what they're
Good
all.
luck, guys.
That's the why they keep hanging on. It's
Thanks for having us
Who's going to
always,
win?
too.
Well, thank you guys for coming down again, and I'm sure we will see more of these guys in the near future. All right, so let's go right into Q&A. We don't really have any new products that are shipping yet. SEMA's coming close, so we will have a bunch then. A couple questions that came in, and actually got some good questions this time. Well, not that we don't usually, but one of the questions that was sent in to us within the last week, what is the difference between a dome, horn, and a cone tweeter? I should have had these guys answer it while they were up here. Well, when it comes down to it, there's so many different styles of speakers, so many different types and kinds. It depends on what you like. Now, it's generally known that horn tweeters are going to be a little bit louder, a little bit brighter, because they actually help amplify the way that they enclose the sound. So that's one advantage and one reason for a horn tweeter is play something a little bit louder or more efficiently plays louder with the same amount of power as another speaker. A cone tweeter is going to be, usually they're a little less expensive. They're in, it's a different style of tweeter. We actually have a small cone that's recessed into a framework that's going to be more of a projected beam. So it's going to focus the sound a little bit more in a direct beam. And of course, they've done a lot of research with the tweeters to figure out to get a more even dispersion from cone tweeters. But it's generally considered that cone tweeters are a little more directional and they're a little bit brighter, got a little bit more sizzle to them than say a dome tweeter, which would be something like a dome coming away from the cabinet, which will give you a smoother sound everywhere. So there is no right or wrong. It's whatever you guys like the sound of. And just between horn, dome tweeter and cone tweeter, I mean, there's still all kinds of other styles of tweeters. There's air motion transformers out there. There's you name it. There's a lot of. There was even plasma tweeters at one time. There was a ball of plasma that heated, but yeah, that was not very OSHA friendly. So anyway, that's kind of the difference. Cone tweeters can be a little more directional, a little brighter. Dome tweeters going to be a little bit softer, more natural sound, a little bit smoother. And then the horn tweeter is going to be much brighter and more projecting, usually designed like for a wake tower or a motorcycle to really project sound far away to make sure everybody in the neighborhood gets to enjoy your music. So next question. I have one hideaway and I want to add to a second under the passenger seat. Can I run both off one bass knob? That's actually got two different answers. One is yes and one is no. So what is the right answer? You cannot run two of those off of the bass knob that comes with those units. It's only set up for one. You cannot use a Y adapter. That doesn't work either. So you literally have to run the knob that came with it with each individual one. But there's two different ways it can be done with two of them. We do now offer a bass knob that has two inputs. For any of our amplifiers that have a 3.5 millimeter jack, that's the CXA, the key amplifiers, the powered downfiring enclosures, the PT or TPs, and of course the HS8 and the HS10. So those do work with the 3.5 millimeter. You can put 2 of them. Now, if you're talking about multiple amplifiers, more than 2, we make an inline volume control. So literally you're just running signal into the volume control, and then you can branch that out as many times as you need to as many amplifiers so you can control as much as you want. So no, you can't run more than 1 off the bass knob that's included with it, but you can run 2 off of our dual bass knob, and you can run multiple off of our universal volume control. So like I say, 2 completely different answers to the same question, but all are correct. That doesn't happen very often. So the next one says, I have a set of KMTC11s, back to those horn tweeters, on my boat. One of my tweeters has gone out. Can this be repaired, or do I have to buy an entire new unit? With the KMTCs, both the 9 and the 11, and the KMFCs, that's just a different mount on the 9-inch, 11-inch, and the KMXL, which are the 6.5, the 8, and the 6x9, they both use the same diaphragm. It's a 1.25-inch aluminum diaphragm, and those are available through the parts department. So yes, you can just buy the diaphragm for those drivers to replace the tweeter only. So they are repairable. With the cans on the KMTCs and FCs, you can actually take the back cover off the can to access it. And of course, with the 6x9s, the 6.5s, and the 8-inch, you just take the cover off the back of the speaker, and then you can access the diaphragm. So it's actually very easy to do that. The only challenge is on the tower speakers, getting your hands into that enclosure to get that diaphragm out, but it can be done. So cool. Next thing we're going to roll right on to are some cool pictures. We always like to do our cool picks and our fail picks. We're going to start off with some cool picks because we got a bunch of those. As soon as I get to the right spot in the laptop, as I ramble while I try to work this crazy mouse. I'm going to have to get me a whole separate mouse to run with this computer. All right. So install-wise, got a couple cool things. Go ahead and pull the laptop up there, Ernie. This is one of our KSMT 2504, and our good friend Peter, that's got our little Japanese mini stunt wall truck, he's been on the chat for quite a bit, and I haven't seen him up there tonight, but he's usually up there. Anyway, Peter came up with a neat idea, and this is one of the KSMT 2504s, which are made to mount on a pillar with just a single hole. Well, if you don't want to drill a hole in anything or don't have the depth to mount the pod, he's actually come with this little 3D printed pod, which basically the speaker mounts to, then you can mount the pod. So just a neat idea, just something kind of cool to give you guys back to that whole 3D printer and scanner, idea. There's so many different unique projects you can do, and who knows, you may be able to start a business making some unique parts and adapters. So great little project that Peter had, and like I say, I always love seeing cool and new things and applications with our products. And here's another one. I think this was from, God, I think I wrote his name down. I think I wrote the paper down. I think it was from Cy Perez, I think, is the person that did this, and this is actually on the Kicker Club. This is an adapter for the new Toyotas that actually has an opening for one of our ST mid-ranges and one of the tweeters. So this bolts into, I think it's the 22 and up Tundras. I think that's what he said, but here again, a really neat idea. In fact, I'm going to go back one picture, and you can see it here, but there's actually a recess for the tweeter, and the mid-range actually sits on top of it. So he did a lot of work to engineer this. And so, if something isn't made for an application you need, don't be afraid to go ahead and create your own. So I love stuff like this. I love stuff being cool, and there went that double click. I love this engine picture. Kind of would be cool if these were actual ports. I don't know if they are or not, but of course you got the standoff for the carburetor, which has got the head unit where the air cleaner used to be. Just neat little projects to have fun with, and it's all about having fun and run what you brung. Another really clean install with some L7T woofers, and I love the way they did. Man, that's what happens when you get the new laptop. I love the way they did the recess for the amplifiers with this little lip all the way around. It's not just round and rolled over. They've spent some time to either CNC that or to actually do that by hand. It can be done either way. It's just obviously a lot quicker with a CNC. But great looking install, very clean, very nice. And of course the vents coming up the back window for that loading, which I bet that thing absolutely pounds. Another simple, clean install, talking about the HS8. Took the time to tuck the wires under the carpet. down here. I mean, just very nice, clean install. And, you know, whatever you do with whatever product you do, take your time to do it right, guys. And this definitely was done that way. Another cool, just the whole vehicle in general with the little wide body flares on this. And, you know, how the subwoofer enclosure is rolled, it's rounded, and I think it looks like we've got 4 12s in that with the vents out the bottom. Just a neat looking vehicle, a neat way to do it. Of course, the quad exhaust coming out the middle. It's the whole package that makes everything look so nice. Once again, nice little build out for a set of the ST series mids. Using perforated vinyl rather than flat vinyl, it just gives it that extra little, you know, flair to make it unique and different. And like I say, enough it definitely caught my eye. Absolutely love this kind of stuff. And then even if it's on the inside of the enclosure, these guys built this enclosure for a couple L715s, it looks like. The bracing, very nicely done, very clean, very stylish. But, you know, that box is built so well from looks of it, I don't even know if I'd cover it or paint it. It's just really nicely put together. And, you know, if you got good work, why hide it under carpet, paint, or vinyl? So, and if you got your quad box and all you got your pickup, yeah, go ahead and take that seat out and bolt it right in place. So yeah, I bet this will rip your head off, especially with that port loading up to the ceiling like that. Great idea and great use of something that was, you know, never designed to fit there. So the creativity is absolutely fantastic. Here we got another really nice install from our friends, you know, Andy at Overkill Customs with L7 woofers and of course the new LX amplifiers and this Impala. You notice the Impala logo embroidered into the side. So great looking install. This is an event he just went to over the weekend, and this was actually, where did I put it up here? Yeah, this was the Slush Motorsports event in Nashville Speedway with Overkill Customs, and 10-inch L7X woofers, 157 dB at 40 hertz. He wanted to make sure we made that post, and I'm sure they haven't even got that thing finally tuned yet, because I bet it can do even more. I've seen what those things can do. Another great enclosure, old versus the new, the old Kawasaki Impulse muffler amplifiers with the Solo X woofer. Nice, you know, white LED lighting on the woofer. It really looks nice, really looks clean. Great looking install. So thank you guys for sending those pictures. They looked fantastic, and you know, it's always tough to decide what to show. But now let's have some fun with our fails. Pardon? Yep, I haven't got there yet, Ernie. Yep, we got him. Another fail we have up here, wire ties to hold wires. I mean, this one looks like it's even tinned, and then, you know, another wire strapped to it. This is a fire waiting to happen. It's just not a good idea, not the best way to bond wires together. Yeah, and Ernie says the white wire ties are what's going to kill you with that one. You know, always use black wire ties for car audio to make sure, you know, you don't have any problems with the cheaper white wire ties, you know, cause that was kind of the old joke, you know, when we were growing up. The white ones weren't as strong as the black ones when it came to tensile strength, but it's not true. It's just color. It doesn't matter. I don't even know what's going on here with this battery. That is just a mess. I mean, I have no idea what's going on. In other words, if you can't figure it out, don't do it. Proper speaker placement, as I said, you know, this probably sounds good with the doors open, but with doors closed, with the tweeter firing right into your ribs, probably it's not going to have very good high frequency response. Same thing with this application. Once again, you know, this big, nice open spot in the door where all the sound's getting out from behind the speaker. Any speaker you have, put it in the right mounting application. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be the best speaker in the world, but if you mount it properly, it's probably going to sound okay. But the best speaker in the world not mounted correctly is never going to sound good. And I don't know if I even found the picture of after with this one, but it looks like a couple 10-gauge strands feeding into a fuse holder feeds two 8-gauge feeds out. So not recommended. Like I say, always use good wire and proper wiring connections. I mean, it looks like that's actually holding the fuse holder out in place. This is the one that really got me. On first glance, it looked, okay, you got a fuse holder, you got nice loomed wire, but if you look real closely, it's a little hard to see, but that fuse holder is screwed down to the top of the battery. Probably going to give that one a no for safety. Yeah, like absolutely drilling through the top of the battery. So that is going to be our fails for the day. And once again, if these are your fails, no harm, no foul, guys. We're just having fun. We're not trying to rib you too bad. Hopefully we can all learn from this and move on. But the last thing Ernie wanted me to show you guys was our good friend Justin, the DIY guy. If you guys follow his posts, if you don't, you should be. He's always got some really fun and entertaining posts, and you're definitely going to learn something. He's had a project he's been working on for a while, just to do something different for enclosures and try to, expand, the way he does things. And he wanted to do something very unique, and I absolutely love this. It's actually MDF that's been cut almost all the way through it to make it bendable. There are things out there like bendable plywood, but it's a neat little enclosure that's basically got the port is actually curled around the outside. So if you guys are ever wondering, what's better, to have the port roll around the edge or have a 90-degree turn, it's always better to keep a nice smooth flow for airflow. And I wish we could hear what this thing sounded like. Here's another view of the top. It's going to be using a CompQ woofer. Just nice work, all the detail that, with the inlaid K, and if you notice the gaps around everything, that's gaps so that when the upholstery is in place, everything fits back together. And this enclosure looks awesome. It's a very unique enclosure, one of a kind, and it does, I'm sure, sound absolutely incredible, but, really nice flare on the port. Justin, you did a great job on this enclosure, and I know you were talking about in the series, it costs you a little bit to learn. You make mistakes, but they're never too costly if you learn by them. So I don't know what you did for mistakes, because everything I saw looks absolutely fantastic, and I'd be proud to put this enclosure in anything I have. It looks great, and obviously you got the right equipment, so it sounds great as well. So thank you for sending those in, Justin, and you guys, once again, thanks for sending your install pics, and thanks for all the guests that we've had tonight. But it now comes down to the point where we need to talk about a couple other things really quick. We mentioned before that all the guys are leaving us. We're down to about a half staff tonight. If you're in the Costa Mesa, Arizona, and California, which is over there by Huntington Beach, the Sand Sport show is going on, which is everything off-road. Side-by-sides, dune buggies. It's a really neat event. I absolutely love going to that event. But this weekend, I'm going to a wedding in Nebraska, so I was unable to attend, so we sent Jacob and Jeremy and Steven. And I think Sandy went to that event as well. And I apologize, I'm losing my voice here. And you're probably saying, I don't blame you, you've been talking so much. So let's move right on to our giveaways. Colin, who's the third place winner? Excuse me, guys. It's going to be Killian B. from New York. So watch for an email from Colin. You're going to win the TWS ones, the t-shirt, and the koozie. And make sure you send your shirt size and your actual shipping address and your phone number. Second place is going to be Michael A. from Texas. Michael A., you're pretty close to Oklahoma. If you want to drive up here and pick up your prizes in person, we'd love to have you and give you a tour of the place. You're going to win the t-shirt, the koozie, and you're also going to win the TWS2s, which have the little silicone tips on those wireless Bluetooth earbuds. And those things sound great. I love riding my bike around the lake with those out here in front of the facility. Which brings us to our final portion of the night, our grand prize winner, which is going to win the BF100, the koozie, and the t-shirt. And that's going to be Antonio M. from California. Congratulations, Antonio. Thank you guys for hanging out. I know we ran a little long tonight, but when you got such good guests like we have now, it's hard to cut them off without, giving them the praise they need. And once again, you guys are always sending in great pictures. Thank you guys for being a part of the Kicker Club and the Kicker Audio Fan Club. And Andy will not be doing his show tonight. Unfortunately, he's down with a bug, so no Andy tonight, but he will return as soon as he possibly can, and we all hope he gets feeling well real soon. I got to thank Ernie and Colin back there, and of course my guests, David and Bill and Darren, and we got good old Mike over here, and of course Jimmy. And we can't do this without you guys, so thanks for your support. Have a great Tuesday evening, and we will see you again 2 weeks right here at the same location. It's not a bat channel, but it's the same time. So we'll see you then. Take care and good night.
Join the crowd. Rock the planet, feel the fire. Shake the world, lift it higher. Whoa! Wires twist like veins of steel. Born to crush, born to feel. Lightning runs through every chord. Power surge. word.